Spread it around a bit. It's not science, meant to be fun. So I don't lose any sleep if it isn't perfect. Yeah, so that was back in late April, and I planted a late bed of garlic. I didn't have a great deal of hope for it. I made a video on it about having success with garlic just from the point of view of preparing the bed to try and get the best results so late in the season. So the goal today is clean up and harvest. But one of the other things I've noticed today is how much self-seeding is going on in the patch at the moment. I'm going to take on a little tour of some of those self-seeded plants, but already here we have self-seeded celery, parsley, a beautiful lettuce variety which I don't ever recall planting, and I think it might be a little bit of a hybridized version. At the front there were some beans. I just chucked a few beans in there, and they were sacrificial actually to try and keep the possum away from some of the other stuff that I was growing. But we've got potatoes in here. It's just amazing. So I'm going to take you around, I'm going to get this garlic out, show you that, and then show you some of the self-seeded stuff that's going on here. So might as well start somewhere. Good start. While I'm harvesting this, I found this sort of interesting phenomenon. You might have seen it before, but it's where you get stem bulbing in garlic, where the actual bulb at the base sends up a second shoot, and you're starting to get bulbs in the actual stem itself. It doesn't happen very often, and I probably haven't had this happen for probably a good 6 or 7 years, but there you go. And I wonder whether or not that's because we've had way more rain than what we normally have in the past. But there you go. Interesting little bit of harvesting outcome. So how did we go? For a late season crop, I'm pretty happy. I've got a lot of good sized bulbs that I can keep. I've also got a lot of food size bulbs which can go straight into the kitchen. But just to give you an idea of what this looks like. So there you go. Not looking too bad. A nice tub of garlic with some decent sized heads. So it's worked out all right. All right, let's look at a bit of self-seeding. So self-seeding plants in the patch here are basically everywhere. When you have a look up here, we've got a lot of sort of scarified and germinated peaches and nectarines. There's another peach tree in there. Another one over here. This little tub here is absolutely incredible. The lettuce that you see in that was not planted. It's self-seeded from previous crops. Down the bottom, you can see we've got some tomatoes there that are just coming up on the edges of the pavers. Another tomato has formed in this tub. Now last year this tub did have tomatoes in it, so that's something we would expect. Even this resting compost heap's got sweet potatoes in it, so we're looking forward to them. This whole onion bed is just a maze of self-seeded plants. We've got self-seeded tomatoes in here, self-seeded broccoli. That tomato there, I planted that one, I'm guilty of that one. But everywhere you look, parsley, celery, silver beet. Sorry about the wind. In this tub, the Kos lettuce here, that is flowering away beautifully, self-seeded in with, there's a cauliflower in here from memory, that's right. So basically we're keeping seed from that because it was a beautiful plant, big, robust, reasonably true to type too, so we're going to keep that variety. Here's another one of our probably Sicilian nectarines who's germinated, but in a perfect spot because I finally managed to get some mint growing in the garden. It gets so hot around here that mint really struggles, but so far this batch has done well. And as this nectarine grows, we'll get fruit and the mint will get the shade it needs. While this hasn't self-seeded, just wanted to make a mention of this. This is our celery that we grew from a stump from an organic celery plant from a market. It is flowering beautifully, so what we're hoping is it'll cross-pollinate with the other celery that we've had self-seed, and maybe we'll get our own local variety of celery. Really pleased about that. While we're talking about self-seeding, here is our little self-seeded L-shaped pomegranate that you might remember from previous videos. Doing beautifully well. On this windy and hot day, that's about it from the garden. I think I did alright with my garlic crop, considering I planted it so late. I think the amendments that I put in it in the garlic success video paid off in the end. I've got a mixture of garlic for the table and for storage. Self-seeding always brings me so much joy. A lot of the trees that we have here have self-seeded, so that has always been something that brings us a lot of happiness. As I sign off, keep an eye out. Somewhere over here maybe, you'll see a link to a video by Neil with Coolclimatetropicalfruits. Neil's just been so kind, giving us a lot of seed and berries and things like that over the time. So check out his video, and over here somewhere maybe there'll be a selection from us. Maybe go back and look at the garlic video if that's of interest to you. So thanks again. See you next time.